Hello everyone, welcome to the Purple Pennies weekly coin news video. My name is Mark. I run the Purple Penny coin shop in Adelaide with my wife Catherine. We're in a suburb called Mawson Lakes, which is about 15 minutes north of Adelaide. I've been doing this for almost 3 years, and these videos, I think this is, I've been doing this since about November 2020, so I've been doing one a week. It's all good fun. What's been going on this week? It's actually been quiet in the shop this week. We've been not doing much buying or selling, which for us is a good thing because it allows us to catch up on jobs that need doing. We've been working our way through old stock that's been sitting around and getting that priced up and up onto the website or out on display in the shop. We've been writing a few articles for the Australian Coin and Banknote magazine, and I've been playing with the lighting and the camera in this room without much success. I'm about ready to throw the whole lot in the bin and start again, I think. Other than that, the news for this week, I'll just pop up the slide here. We're ready for the mint releases this Thursday, and of course that's the 3 kangaroo releases and the last batch of the train coins. Now, as I've already said previously, we are not going to be allocating any of the train coins to new people. If you have bought the train coins off us previously, certainly the second batch of train coins, we've put your name down on a list, and I would encourage you to contact us and confirm that you want the same allocation that you got last time. We got issued the same number, so that's just in the interest of fairness and making sure that everyone gets to complete this. That's what we've decided to do. Second bit of news is that the Mint rather helpfully announced a new product release on the Berlin World Money Fair website. That popped up on Wednesday morning, and of course we got inundated with questions about where can I buy it, how much is it going to be, can I put my name down for them, and we didn't know anything. I can confirm that we will be getting some of those honeybee products, and I'm just going to show you the image that I lifted off of the Berlin Money Fair website here, so just give me 1 second. There it is there, so you can see it's a $2 coin. It's to commemorate 200 years since honeybees were introduced into Australia. It's fair to say that there's going to be the regular types of releases for this $2 coin, so I'll leave it up to you to decide what that means. There will be line listings for these products on Thursday along with prices and things like that, so please do keep an eye on our Facebook page. We'll be posting up the information there, and of course to our website like we usually do, and be taking interest in those items as per usual when they become available. So we'll just say a few hellos. Hello Alex, glad you could join us live today. David, Ash, John, Rob, Mike, Gemma, Carolyn, Brett, Tanya, Mark, Wendy, Paul, Matt, Carol, and Rob says to pass on her thanks to Catherine for her package being so carefully wrapped and 2 coins being refunded for postage. So as you all know, Catherine does a fantastic job with the packaging here, and if our website ever overcharges you for shipping, then we usually organise either a PayPal refund or stick a couple of coins in the package to make sure that you're not out of pocket on that. Hello Paul and Clay and Neil. Matt saying another coloured coin, the numismatic world is going to go mad. Yes, that's right. Hello Patrick and HC2. How are you, mate? So anyway, we'll get back onto the news here. Let me get the slide back up here. There's been 3 articles pop up in the news, mostly online news, or I believe Channel 7 might have picked one up via the television about varieties in your change. So these journalists are following TikTok channels, and those TikTokers are popping up short videos about coins that you can find in your change. And of course this is all stuff that Catherine and I wrote about on our website years and years ago, so I suspect these TikTokers are just grabbing the content off of the web somewhere and then doing a short video about it. So this week we had the Alien 5-cent die clash, the small head 2004 20-cent piece, and for whatever reason they've decided that coins minted from 85 to 98 that have the RDM initials on the portrait of the Queen something. We've had several phone calls about those over the weekend. This stuff just flabbergasts me that the journalists pick up on this stuff, but I guess it beats actually having to work for a living. David saying the feed is cutting in and out. David, usually that has something to do with the internet connection at your end. It's all working okay over here. Now, there was one last thing that popped up in the news this week, which I thought was interesting. PCGS has just started grading note bundles. They're only going to grade US note bundles of 50 or 100 notes, but perhaps there might be something that comes up for in Australia. And I'll just show you the picture of the note bundle that they graded here. It's their first bundle that they graded. It's a bundle of 1932 US $500 notes. So there's 100 in there, which is, how much is that going to be? $50,000 in face value in notes in that bundle. 50,000 US dollars. Apparently it is the oldest known US original bank bundle. Gosh knows what's that worth, but you know, it'd have to be $500,000 or $1 million, you'd imagine. Anyway, so PCGS is now grading and encapsulating bank bundles, and it will be certainly interesting to see if they carry that over to Australian bundles, because I wouldn't mind getting a bundle graded just for the sake of having it graded. So, right, let's just have a look at the comments before we jump into the topic of the day. Catherine Harris, hello Mark. Hello Kath, how are you? Catherine's just over there doing her thing in her office over there. I told her she wasn't allowed to heckle me today, but we'll see if she does. Patrick saying, will the price of gold and silver change much due to the war between Russia and Ukraine? Patrick, it already has. So the afternoon that I think it was about 2 p.m. in the afternoon, I think it was on Thursday, when the news was announced that Russia had done what they did, the gold price in the next 12 hours went from about 2,620 Australian per ounce to about 2,750, and then overnight it basically gave all of that back, but it has gone up and down by $30-40 an ounce a couple times in the day since, including today, and silver is sort of tagging along behind it. So this definitely has brought a lot of what do they call it, volatility to the market. The price is certainly changing around a lot, so if you are playing in that area, just do be a bit careful, I guess. Hello Glennis, hello John, hello Carolyn, how are you? And Tanya. Right, so topic of the day is these, so $2 rolls, and the reason why is that I just thought I'd have a look at, you know, put all of the mintages and issue prices and things like that in table and just see what, you know, a $2 roll looks like these days. And what I've decided to do is I've just taken it from 2017 to date, and the reason for that was that really 2017, as far as I'm concerned, is when they started, you know, putting these things out properly. I know that there are rolls from 2014 and 15 and 16, but I just feel like 2017 is really when these became a popular thing. So I'll just pop this table up here. Now you just have to, sorry. So that's all of the rolls that have been released since 2017, and you can see that the initial production figures were 5,000 per roll, and that continued up until the Firefighter in 2020, when they went to 7,500 per roll, and then in the coin release after that, which is, I believe it was the Indigenous Military Service was the first one, had 10,000 rolls produced. And that's continued up until the last $2 roll that was released, which was the ambulance roll. So the Mint has fairly quickly increased that production figure in 2020 from 5,000 to 10,000. The one thing that they have done is kept the release price constant at $99.95 a roll. So I thought, well, let's have a look at the prices that these things go for on the secondary market. And I've popped all of them into a table there. And if you look closely, you can see there that the market value for $2 rolls from 2017 to date ranges between $120 to $495. Now, how did I get those market prices? I looked at what I could buy one for right now, either from our website or from eBay or from other dealers' websites, just to get an idea of what they're selling in the marketplace. Now, the obvious outlier there is the end of World War II $2, which I believe is a outlier because of psychological reasons. There's still people who believe that the mintage of that coin is going to be low, and it may well be low, but it is an obvious outlier. And what I've done is I've multiplied the market value of each roll by the number of rolls that were produced, and that gives you what I'm calling a total market value. And that means if you wanted to buy up all the rolls in the marketplace today, that's how much it would cost you. And if you scan your eyes down that column on the right hand side there, you can see that the total market value ranges from about 900,000 for the 2017 Lest We Forget Mosaic roll up to $2.5 million for the end of World War II roll. And just remember, I believe that that is an outlier. If you do look at those numbers, you'll see that all of the total market values sit between 900,000 and 1.3 million. It's a very close range. Now, to give you an idea of how close that is, I thought that we would just pop that into a graph, or a graph, depending on what part of Australia you come from. So on that chart there, the yellow line is the total market size. So that's how much it would cost you to buy all the rolls of a particular type. And you can see there it's a fairly flat line between just under $1 million and 1.3 million. So ignoring the World War II roll, I would say that the average market value of all the rolls that the Mint produces, regardless of how many they produce, whether it's 5,000, 7,500 or 10,000, is about $1.1 or $1.2 million. Now, what has the Mint done as they've increased the production figures of those rolls? So the green line there is what I'm calling the secondary market value. So if you take away the cost of the rolls, the $100 initial cost, that's the amount of money that's been pumped into the market by people buying these things on the secondary market. And the blue line, that's the initial cost of buying these rolls. So what you're seeing there is that as they increase the mintage or the production figures of the rolls, the Mint gets more of the money in the market. Now, how much more do they get? For the last 4 roll releases, they've basically got $1 million of the $1.2 million market size. So the increasing the number of rolls that they're releasing has not brought more money into the market. The market size has pretty much stayed exactly the same. What does that mean? It means that really the pool of collectors has stayed about the same. But what has the Mint done? It means they've grabbed more of the money. They've grabbed more of the money by increasing that number of rolls that are produced. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, from my point of view, it's a good thing because it means that us as coin dealers, we get a few more rolls to sell, so we're happy about that. It also means that genuine collectors have a much better opportunity of getting the rolls that they want at release price or very close to release price. At release price or very close to release price. It also means that a lot of these flippers that, they don't pay GST and they don't pay tax and all this other stuff, they're left out in the cold. Now, It doesn't mean that we don't like competition. It just means that, you know, they can go and become round dealers like us and go through all of the rigmarole that we have to do all of that stuff. Now, moving forward, what can you draw from this chart? Now, from my point of view, the last 4 releases, the Mint has grabbed $1 million of the $1.2 million market size for each roll release. Now, if they were to bump that production figure up to 12,500 or 15,000 or 20,000, these numbers would suggest that there isn't going to be more money coming into the market. So those rolls that are going to get released probably aren't going to be as in demand. Now, what does that mean to us as coin dealers? It might mean that when we get our next batch of rolls, we don't sell out if the production figures go up. We might not sell out, okay? There might be more rolls available to collectors than demand warrants. What does that mean to you as collectors? It means that I probably wouldn't go chasing these on the secondary market if the production figures for rolls go up, because it's likely to be that supply will outstrip demand, and perhaps that release price of $99.95 is going to be the ongoing market price as well, or perhaps even lower. I thought something like this was going on, and it wasn't until this morning when I popped them into this chart that it became fairly obvious that the amount of money that is available to buy each release of rolls is about the same all the time, regardless of how many rolls the Mint produces. And what the Mint has done by increasing the number of rolls produced, they've grabbed more of that money in the market rather than it going on the secondary market. So it's an interesting thing to think about. And if at some point in the future there's a roll released with a higher number released, it will be very interesting to see A, if it sells out, and B, if the price goes up after release. The last 4 coins are only selling for barely above release price, so you know, it seems pretty obvious that if that release figure goes up again, you wouldn't want to be chasing $2 rolls to get your money back. Right, Neil, I'm going to have to delete that comment. I can't have embargoed Mint stuff in our comments here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I will say that the $2 honey coins will be available from dealers. I can't say exactly in what form or the price, but they are going to be available for dealers. That I can confirm. And just wait until Thursday, this Thursday, which is the 3rd of March, and we'll announce that on our Facebook page and our website as we usually do. Right, that's it for today. I hope that was of interest to people. Let's have a look to see if there's any questions here. Paul is saying, would it also depend if the coin is released in the circulation? So Paul's asking whether the roll price is affected by coins released in the circulation. Absolutely. So the End of World War II coin still has a incomplete mintage figure. It's still possible for it to appear in another annual report, but people are speculating that it won't appear in any more annual reports and that the mintage is lower, and you know, as a result, the roll prices have definitely gone up because of that. There's no less of those rolls than there are the ones that were before, but there is speculation because it's a lower mintage coin, then the roll prices have gone up accordingly on that. So yes, Paul, definitely the prices are affected by whether they're going to go into circulation. Yeah, that's all right, Neil. Don't worry about it. It's well, we just have to be careful with what we're talking about here. We've got obligations to the Mint. I've just shared the photo of the honeybee coin that was on the World Money Fair website. The Mint shouldn't have any problems with that, but yeah, just with regards to mintages and issue prices and forms of issues, we have to keep that to ourselves until Thursday. As I said, all the stuff will be out on Thursday. HC2 is asking whether the $2 honeybee coin will be released in Thursday. No, it will be announced whether it is going to be available on Thursday, but it won't be available for at least a month after that if they are releasing it, which of course they are. Right. Hello, Gwen. How are you? I hope people found that of interest today. Just be cautious with those $2 rolls, I guess. They are wonderful collector products. I think that they're a beautiful product, and with the head, tail, and the little hologram sticker, and you know, putting together a set, they are an attractive set. But I guess just be cautious about pumping your money into them thinking you're going to make money out of them on the secondary market, especially if the mint increases their production figures. Wendy's asking, what do people think about splitting up of rolls? So Wendy, Catherine and I have talked about this a fair bit. If we get sort of unsaleable rolls here in the shop, we break them up and sell them individually, because we've got customers that just want one coin or two coins, and there certainly are a lot of people on social media who break up rolls, whether they be security rolls or RAM rolls, and sell them individually. There's actually, I guess, opportunities to make money there. It's fairly hard work, sort of mailing out one or two coins at a time, but that's what some people do. I think where the challenge comes is when you look at catalogue values for coins that are 10 years old or 15 years old, and you think, oh, I can buy a roll for $12, and if I break it up, there's $100 of value in there. You'll never sell a whole roll worth of coins that no one wants. So, you know, don't go buying a 1988 $2 roll and break it up thinking you're going to be able to sell the coins for $20 each, or whatever the catalogue value is, because you probably won't find 25 people who want to buy one. So that's my opinion on that. Yeah, the Steam Train release is next Friday. Next Thursday, that's right, Alex. How many are actually still left is anyone's guess. Wendy, we like to think, because we're on Facebook and things like that, that we see all of the rolls and things like that that the Mint releases. But I can assure you that the vast majority of our rolls sell to people that aren't active on social media and that don't break them up. So, you know, I think we just have to be careful that what we see, to consider the fact that what we see on social media with everyone breaking up rolls and things like that isn't really what's going on. There's still a big silent majority of coin collectors out there that don't break things up and flip them and you know, all that sort of stuff. Most people do keep them intact. Yes, Alex, another dealer does put them into rolls. That's what Downey's does with rolls. They break them up and put them into cards, and they've got a very successful business doing that, and they have created a collectible in those cards that are very sought after by people, and good on them for doing that. They've done well out of that. Right, that's it. That's all right, Wendy. Thank you very much for asking some questions. I do like it when people ask questions. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. I did enjoy doing those graphs this morning. Just confirmed a couple of things that I thought. I will see you next week. If you have any questions during the week, please send us a message, give us a call, email us, and we will do our best to pop it into a video for you. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye for now.